أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا Muhammad. I seek refuge in Allah from the evil, accursed, wicked, wrongdoer, evildoer, Iblis. He is Lucifer. And we seek refuge in the Creator of His everlastingly, of Him in all of His capacities, abilities, allies, and conspirators. I begin in the name of Allah the Sublime. He is the most compassionate, the most merciful, and sends much salutations upon and praises the mercy of mankind, the selected one, the one who is in everlasting state of praises, Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. This is your humble yet respectable orator, Muhammad Israel, and this is your legendary military ideology of the Prophet Muhammad Salawatullahi Ta'ala Alayhi. This is in reference to the era of Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, after completing the errors of the prior righteously guided Khalifas, namely Uthman, Umar, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. We have also completed the Madanite period, known as the legendary military career of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salawatullahi ta'ala alayhi. Then proceeded by the legendary military legacy of his salawatullahi alayhi. Then the legendary military governance of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salawatullah, and then the legendary military empire of the nation of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salawatullahi alayhi. And now we are on the legendary military empire of his alayhi salawatullah. We are picking up on page number 190, and we were discussing the arbitration that would take place as a result of the Battle of Siffeen, and the two arbitrators, namely Amr ibn al-As and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, who was once the governor of Basra, and I do believe Kufa. However, Basra is purely stated that he was one of the founders of the students of knowledge of Basra. Now we are going to continue the aftermath of him and Sayyidina Umar bin al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu having that conversation in the prior video. I do believe it was video number 12. This is video number 113. And just a brief disclosure for those who are just recently joining us, because we see various nationals or various citizens of various countries actually on the channel back end. And if you're just joining us, we are reading from volume 2, although volume 1 is being displayed. We only have one copy of these series. Okay, so picking up now from the second paragraph. Just as Abu Musa al-Ash'ari was keen to seek knowledge, he was also enthusiastic about spreading that knowledge and teaching people. In his sermons, he would teach the people and encourage them to learn. It was narrated that Abu al-Muhallab said, I heard Abu Musa on his member saying, whoever is granted knowledge by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, let him teach it, but he should not speak of that of which he has no knowledge, lest he become one of those who make things up and thus go beyond the pale of Islam. End quote. As people are today. Abu Musa made the Mosque of Basra a center for his academic activity, and he allocated a large portion of his time to academic gatherings. He did not stop there, though. He did not let any opportunity pass without making the most of it to teach and educate the people. After he said the salam at the end of the prayer, he would turn to face the people, teach them, and checking on their recitation of the noble Quran. Ibn Shawdahab said, when Abu Musa al-Ash'ari had prayed the dawn prayer, he would turn to face the rows of people and ask them to recite one by one. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari was well known among the companions for his beautiful voice and recitation of the Quran. The people would gather around him when they heard him reading. When Abu Musa sat with him, meaning Umar ibn al-Khattab, he would ask him to recite for him whatever he could of the Quran. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu enabled him to teach the Muslimin, and he did all he could to teach the Quran and spread it among the people in every land he stayed in. The people would gather around him to hear his beautiful voice and recitation. Seekers of knowledge crowded around him in the mosque of Basra, and he divided them into groups arranged in circles. He would go around reciting to them, listening to them, and correcting their recitation. Can't do that very easily today. People like to keep their mistakes and are proud of it, and as a matter of fact will get violent just so they can keep that mistake. Astaghfirullah. The noble Quran was his main preoccupation. He devoted most of his time to it. Whether or not he was not traveling, it was narrated that Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu said, Al-Ash'ari, meaning Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, sent me to Umar, and Ash'ari, the people of poetry, sent me to Umar ibn al-Khattab, and Allah knows best, sent me to Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, and Umar said, how was Al-Ash'ari when you left him? I said, I left him teaching people the Quran. He said, he is wise and smart, but do not tell him that I said that. Subhanallah. Even when he went out for jihad, he would teach and educate others. Jihad is the physical war. So even when he went out on that, he would teach and educate others. It was narrated that Hattab ibn Abdullah al-Riqashi said, we were with Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu in an army on the banks of the Tigris when the time of prayer came. So his caller gave the call for the noon prayer. The people went to perform wudu, and he made wudu. He led them in prayer, and then they sat in a circle. When the time came for the afternoon prayer, his caller gave the call for that prayer, and the people got up to do wudu again. His caller said, no, wudu is required except for the one who broke his wudu, meaning wudu is only required for the one who actually broke his wudu. His academic efforts bore fruit, and he had the joy of seeing large numbers of people around him who had memorized the noble Quran and had become scholars. In Basra alone, their number was more than 300. When Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu asked his employees to send him the names of those who had memorized the Quran so that he could honor them and increase their stipends. Stipends, what? We don't have no stipends today. They shun us, they throw us. Astaghfirullah. Then we get back to the reading. Let's stick to the reading. So when Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu sent word asking the employees to send them the names of those who had memorized, who had retained, who had preserved the Quran, so that he could honor them in different ways, they can be honored them and increase their stipends. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari wrote to him, telling him that the number of people with him who had learned the Quran by heart was 300 plus. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari also paid attention to teaching and narrating the Sunnah. A number of companions and senior tabi'un narrated from him. Al-Dahabi said, may Allah Jalla Jalaluhu have mercy on him. Buraidah ibn al-Husayb, Abu Umama al-Bahili, Abu Sa'id al-Qudri, Anas ibn Malik, Tariq ibn Shihab, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyab, al-Aswad ibn Yazid, Abu Wa'il Shaqiq ibn Salama, Abu Uthman al-Nahdi, and others narrated from Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. He radiallahu anhu adhered strongly to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad alayka salawatullahi ta'ala alayk. This is indicated by his conduct during his life and by what he instructed his children to do after he died. Despite his great enthusiasm for the sunnah, he did not narrate a large number of ahadith. And this was true of the senior companions. They were very, very cautious in narrating from the Prophet Muhammad alayka salawatullahi ta'ala alayhi. One of the people who was close to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari in Basra was Anas ibn Malik, who is regarded as one of his inner circle members. It was narrated from Thabit that Anas said, we were with Abu Musa on a journey and the people were talking and mentioning worldly matters. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu said, O Anas, these people are talking too much. Come, let us remember our Lord Jalla Jalaluhu for a while. Then he said, what slowed the people down in pursuing matters of the hereafter? I said worldly matters, Satan and Iblis and whims and desires. This is what slows people down. He said, no. It is the fact that this world is close and they can see it while the hereafter is hidden from them. By Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, if they could see it with their own eyes, meaning the akhirah, the hereafter, they would not drift or turn away from it. Since Abu Musa trusted Anas radiallahu anhu, he appointed him to be his envoy to Amirul Mu'mineen Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Anas radiallahu anhu said, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari sent me from Basra to Umar ibn al-Khattab, who asked me about the people's situation after the battle of Tastar. Abu Musa sent him to Umar with the prisoners and booty, and he took its Persian commander Hormuzan to Umar ibn al-Khattab. Very interesting. 3.1.3 Governorship of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari at the time of Umar and Uthman. May Allah Jalla Jalaluhu have mercy on both of them. Abu Musa is rightfully regarded as the most famous of the governors of Basra during the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu. During the time of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, many places in Persia were conquered. He used to go out for jihad himself, and he would send the commanders in different directions from Basra. The period of his governorship was filled with jihad, war, physical war, and the people of Basra managed to conquer a number of important places, including Al-Ahwaz and its environs. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari cooperated with neighboring governors in many ways, in many wars and conquest. He put a great deal of effort into organizing the conquered regions, appointing governors over them, securing them, and organizing their affairs. There was a great deal of correspondence between Abu Musa al-Ash'ari and Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu concerning different issues. And Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu gave him valuable advice about how he should deal with the people when he received them in his councils, and about fearing Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and trying to help the people. Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu said, open quote, the most blessed of people is the one whose subjects are blessed because of him. And the most wretched of people is the one whose subjects are wretched because of him. Beware of indulging in the people's wealth, lest the people working for you also indulge. Then your example would be like that of the animal that looks at the green land and starts grazing in order to grow fat. But its death will be caused by its fatness. End quote. There are a number of letters between Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari relating to various administrative and executive issues that Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu was taking care of with the people of instructions from Umar bin al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Most of this correspondence has been compiled by Muhammad Hamidullah in his valuable book on political documents. Inshallah, we will end this one here on page number 193 at the very bottom. So next video we will be picking up from page number 194. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, blessed glory alone be to Allah. In his names, in his attributes, there is much bounty and blessing, and we send salutations upon all of his prophets and messengers, and our final saying is all praises are due to Allah. والسلام على من اتبع الهدى النصر أو استشهاد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We send greetings and salutation, peace and blessings to those who are seekers of knowledge, this striving in the path of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. We only gain one of two, either victory or martyrdom. And we say in our final statement, our final supplication is all praises due to the creator of all the entirety of the dominion.